Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about HTML headings. Think about a website you've visited or even a book you have read. What is the one thing they have in common? Headings. There is usually a big heading at the top, then below it there are smaller headings that divide content into various sections, and sometimes inside those sections you'll even see smaller headings. That is how information stays organized and easy to read. Now look at this web page. At the very top you can see the main heading. This is the most important title on the page. It tells us what the entire page is about. Then below it you can see sections like early life and career. These divide page into clear sections. And inside the career sections you can see even smaller headings like 2010 to 2015 and 2015 to 2020. Now notice the pattern. We start with one big topic, then we divide it into various sections, then we divide those sections into smaller parts. That's how a web page, a book, or any informational content is structured. Now let's learn how to create HTML headings using HTML tags. We have different types of heading, main headings and subheadings. That is why HTML gives us different heading levels. For the main heading we use H1 tag. H1 means heading level 1 and it is the most important heading on the page. To create a heading, we simply place the heading text inside the H1 tag. The first H1 is the opening heading tag and the second H1 is the closing heading tag. Notice there is a / in the closing heading tag, and any text inside this becomes a heading 1. Now let's open our VS Code and create a file named index.html. So in our HTML file, let's create a main heading using H1 tag. Now if you look at this in the browser, you can see we have created the main heading. To make things more clear, let's also add some paragraph below it. When we open this in the browser, you'll immediately notice that the H1 text appears bigger and stands out clearly. That's because the browser understands it's the main title. Now let's add a subheading. Right below the main heading, if you want to create a subheading under it, we use H2 tag. H2 tag is heading level 2. To create a heading level 2 tag, we just add text between opening H2 tag and closing H2 tag. Now let's create an H2 tag. Let's also add some paragraph below it so that we can clearly see the difference. Now if you open this in the browser, you'll notice that heading level 2 looks different from the paragraph. It appears bigger and bolder than the normal text, but still slightly smaller than the main heading. We can also create a subheading under H2 tag. For that we need heading level 3, which is H3. To create heading level 3, we simply add the text between opening H3 tag and closing H3 tag. Now let's create heading 3. And below it, let's also add a paragraph so we can clearly see how it looks. Notice that H3 is bigger than the normal paragraph but smaller than H2 and H1. Now we have one main heading and subheadings under it. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 all look different visually, but the visual difference is not the only purpose of this tag. Headings are not there just to make text bigger or smaller, they also tell the browser what each part of the page represents. H1 tells the browser this is the main topic of the page. H2 tells the browser this is a section under the main topic. H3 says this belongs under the H2 section. So it's about structure, not just style. Because of this structure, the browser understands the page clearly. Search engines understand it better and screen readers can navigate it properly. That's why using proper heading levels is important, not just for people but for browser too. Another important thing to know is that just like in a book there is usually one main title, in the same way you should only use one H1 tag on the web page. That H1 represents the main heading of the entire page. After that, using proper hierarchy is very important. Use H2 for sections under main heading and H3 for subsections under H2. Try not to skip levels. For example, do not jump from H1 straight to H3 without using H2 in between. Keeping things in order makes your page clean, logical, and properly structured. HTML has 6 levels of heading in total. That means beside H1, H2, and H3, we also have H4, H5, and H6. Each level goes one step deeper in the structure. However, in most of the website, you'll mainly use H1, H2, and H3. H1 for the main title, H2 for the major sections, and H3 for the sections inside those sections. The other level of headings are there if you ever need deeper structure, but in most of the pages, first 3 levels are more than enough. Now that's it for HTML headings. I'll see you in the next video and thank you for watching.